my name is Madeline, and welcome to this Evening Yin Yoga class. So this is a great class to do before going to sleep. You don't need to do this in the evening. It can be good just whenever you want some general relaxation and calm. So yeah, let's get right into it. And if you like to use blocks in your practice, I recommend grabbing a couple of those. But if you don't have them, it's all good. So let's begin with 3 deep breaths to ground into the space. Taking an inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Inhaling through the nose, exhale out the mouth. Taking one last inhale through the nose. And then a really big sigh out the mouth. And we'll come into our first yin position, which will be on our backs for a reclining tree. So come to face the front of your mat. Come all the way down onto your back. Stretch those legs out long. And start to draw the sole of the right foot to the left thigh, so you're in this tree leg shape. And you can stay with your arms by your sides, or you can branch out into those cactus arms. So really grounding into the space to begin. And making sure your breathing is deep here. And imagine yourself rooting into the earth as you breathe. With each breath, try to ground further into the mat. And take one more deep breath here. And slowly let that go, reaching the right leg out to meet the left. Maybe you want to just shake those legs a little bit here. You can keep the arms in whatever variation you had them. And then we'll go into that reclining tree on the second side. So this time, drawing the sole of the left foot to meet the right thigh. So you have this tree-like shape on your back. You can always change up the arm variation if you want to do something different. Just listening to whatever the body is needing. by trying to breathe into that back body. And take one more deep breath here. Slowly let it go, reaching the left leg out long. And then draw both knees into the chest. Be rocking side to side just to release that mid back, upper back. And then whenever you're ready, getting there however feels best, you can come to make your way into a seated position with the legs crossed. And from here, we'll just take a little bit of movement and do some seated cat-cows. So you can bring your hands to your knees, and as you inhale, begin to arch the spine towards the sky. And then round the back as you exhale. And you can continue like this, or take any kind of movement that feels good in the body. Maybe making some circles. Maybe you want to twist from one side and then the other. Again, try to notice how the body is feeling today. And try to honor whatever your body is needing. No pressure to do all of these poses. And take one last breath in your movement here. And then return back to stillness. And we're going to make our way into a seated diamond or a butterfly pose. So this time you can bring the soles of the feet together and try to make sure they're in a diamond-like shape, so maybe a little further out than you would normally go. And if you'd like to stay here, that's great. If you'd like to go a little further, you can start to fold forward towards those feet. Option as well, if you have a block, to place it underneath the forehead for some extra grounding, which I feel like is really nice in the evening before going to sleep. Just feels really relaxing to rest your forehead on something. And try to let the body soften, the spine round, and melt into this pose. And take one more deep breath in your seated diamond. If you're folding forward, Slowly start to crawl your way back up. Remove the block if you are using it. And really gently, hands outside of those knees. You can draw the knees back together. Maybe you want to place your hands behind you and then rock those knees from side to side for a couple of windshield wipers. And pausing back at center whenever you're ready. And this time we'll come forward onto hands and knees to prepare for our melting heart pose, my favorite pose. So in this melting heart, you want to try to keep your knees and hips in line. If you have a blanket, you can always place it underneath the knees if the knees are a little sensitive. And then from here, walk those hands towards the tops of the mat and start to draw that chest down. Maybe the forehead touches the mat. Maybe you grip the top of the mat with your hands for an even deeper shoulder opening. If you feel any pain, any tingling in the arms, you can always spread the arms wider across the mat. It's a really great shoulder opening here. This should feel really nice. And we'll take a few more breaths here. And take one last deep breath. And really slowly, staying low to the ground, begin to slide back into your child's pose. And it can feel nice to do a closed leg child's pose here with the knees together and arms reaching back, or option to go for a wide leg child's pose with the arms reaching forward. Again, it's up to you. I'm just resting here for a few moments. Take one more breath in child's pose. And slowly start to crawl back up, bringing those hands in towards you and just rocking over to one side and reach the legs out in front of you for this nice seated position. And from here, we're going to come into a half butterfly. So we're going to return to that same tree-like shape that we did in the beginning of class. This time, draw the sole of the right foot to the left thigh. It can be really nice to use a couple blocks here if you have them. So maybe preparing that to get ready to rest your forehead on. If not, all good. Then whenever you're ready, reach those arms up and start to fold forward over the left leg. Maybe the forehead goes to some blocks. If not, no worries. You can always bend that left knee if that feels better for you. And again, try to round, let the body soften. Take one more breath in half butterfly. And if you're folding forward, start to slowly crawl those hands back up. Keep your legs in this position, and we'll do a little counter twist to the side. Bringing the left hand to the right knee and reach that right hand behind you, looking over that right shoulder for one deep breath. So a big inhale through the nose, one big sigh out the mouth. And we'll return to face front on the mat. You can let that right leg go, maybe shake those legs out a little bit. And then we'll get right into that half butterfly on the other side. This time, bring the sole of the left foot to the right thigh. Place your blocks how you like if you're using them. And whenever you're ready, reach the arms up to the sky. And then fold forward over that right leg, knowing that each side can feel different. Option to bend the right leg as well, if that feels better. Letting the spine soften. Take one more deep breath here. And slowly crawling those hands back up the right leg, keeping the legs in the same position, and we'll do that twist. Bring the right hand to the left knee, left fingertips behind you, looking over that left shoulder. Take an inhale through the nose, big sigh out the mouth, and then return back to center. You can remove your props. And release that left leg out in front. Again, maybe you want to shake those legs out a bit, rock them a little side to side. And then returning back to stillness. And we're going to come into a dragonfly pose. So I recommend coming to face the long ways on your mat. This is where if you have a blanket or bolster, you might want to sit up on that. And we'll start to reach one leg out to the side, long towards the diagonal of the mat. And then reaching the other leg out as well. You don't have to be super wide, you don't have to go super far. Just whatever feels good. And here you can always bend your knees as much as you like. Maybe if you have blocks, you can place the blocks underneath the knees, which can feel nice. And if this is enough, this feels good, you can stay here. If you'd like to go a little further, start to fold forward between those legs. An option to, again, bring blocks or any props for your forehead to rest on. It's a really nice hip opener here. And really try to let go of any tension. Let go of anything you're holding on to or clinging to. And just surrender into the pose. Take one more breath in your straddle pose. And really slowly start to walk those hands back up, removing any props if you are using them. And really gently here, placing the hands on the outsides of the thighs and drawing them back together. And here you might want to go for those windshield wipers and rock those knees from side to side. And pause back at center whenever you're ready. And we'll come back to face forward on the mat. So one more pose in this little forward folding sequence, and that's going to be a caterpillar pose. So for this caterpillar, I recommend you bend your knees a lot. If you'd prefer to get more of a hamstring stretch, you can straighten them out long. So just choosing whatever you feel like doing today. And start to reach the arms up towards the sky. Then melt over those legs, folding forward. The knees are bent. Bringing that head to come in between the knees. Option for a block again. I think this variation with the knees super bent is really great to do before going to sleep. Kind of feels like you're in a little cocoon. And just let the body melt here. And take one more breath here. And slowly start to come back up, taking your time and stretching those legs all the way out long. Maybe shaking them a little bit side to side. And then we'll come down onto our backs, which should feel really nice after all the forward folding. You can rock those knees from side to side, releasing the back again. And then we can place the feet on the mat. We're going to come into a supported bridge. So this is where you're going to want to grab one of your blocks. If you don't have a block, you can come into this kind of rest position with the knees knocking towards each other. If you do have a block, start to lift the hips up really slightly. Start on the lowest height and see how that feels. And then slide the block underneath the sacrum, tailbone area. So make sure it's not on the lower back. And you can adjust to whatever height feels best for you. And if you want to stay here, that's great. If you like some more hip opening, you can start to stretch those legs out long in front of you, letting the legs just drop. And if you want some more shoulder opening, reach the arms up above you And take hold of opposite elbows. So lots of options here, listening to whatever feels best in your body. And surrender. Take one more breath in supported bridge. If you have the arms up above you, begin to release them back down. If the legs are out long, draw those legs and feet back towards the mat, back towards you. And then really gently lift those hips up and slide the block out from underneath you. Again, you might want to go for some windshield wipers from side to side on your back here. And then return back to center. And we're going to come back up into a seat to prepare for our deer pose. I know I'm definitely starting to feel sleepy here, so hopefully you are too. And in this deer pose, we're going to start with the left leg front. So that left leg is going to be, the left shin is going to be parallel with the top of the mat. And then that right shin is going to be parallel with the side of the mat. So you kind of have these two little triangle-like positions. And whenever you're ready, you can also, again, if you have that block, place it in front of you for the forehead to rest on. If you don't have it, it's all good. And start to fold forward over that left shin. So you should feel a nice opening in the left hip here. Again, let yourself sink into the pose. Let the body soften. Take one more super deep breath in here. And slowly start to press back up onto those hands. I feel like deer is a super relaxing pose. And then we're just going to go right into that other side. So this time that right shin is going to be parallel with the top of the mat. And then the left shin will be parallel with the side of the mat. So again, you have these triangle-like shapes. Option to place a block in front of you for the forehead. And then start to fold forward over that right shin. Maybe forehead to block, maybe forehead just kind of dangles. So nice opening for the right hip here. Maybe notice the difference between the two sides. Remembering your deep breathing. And take one more breath into your pose. And then slowly start to come back up onto your hands, removing a block if you were using it. And then just start to release those legs out in front of you. Maybe you want to shake the legs out a little bit. And then we'll come down onto our backs. Just pause here for a couple of breaths, noticing the effect those poses have had on the body so far. And from here, we'll come into a banana asana. So bring those legs together and start to reach the arms up above you. Scooch the hips a little over to the left, and then start to draw the feet over to that lower right corner and the hands over to that upper right corner of the mat. And try to keep both hip points pressing down on the ground so you have your banana-like shape here. Another favorite pose of mine. If you want to go a little deeper, cross that left ankle over the right, and maybe grab hold of the left wrist with the right hand. And then breathe into the whole side body. Great side body stretch. Great to do before going to sleep as well. You can always take a different arm variation, maybe grabbing hold of opposite elbows, just finding something that works for you. Take one more breath in your banana asana. You have the ankles crossed, beginning to uncross them, letting go of the wrist, and coming back to center. Pause at center for one breath, maybe two. And then we'll come into that banana asana on the other side. This time shifting the hips a little over to the right. And then draw those feet over to the lower left corner of the mat and the arms and hands over to the upper left corner of the mat. Again, in this banana-like shape. Option to cross right ankle over the left. Maybe grab hold of the right wrist with the left hand. Or go for any other arm variation that feels good. And try to breathe into the whole right side body. Take one last breath in your banana asana. Let go of the wrist if you're holding on. Uncross those ankles. Then draw the body back to center. You can bring the arms back down beside you. And draw those knees into the chest, maybe hugging them in and rocking side to side. That feels good. Then return back to center, and we'll come into a couple of reclined twists. So this time, shift the hips a little over to the left and start to drop both knees over to the right and reach that left arm out into a T shape or cactus, and try to get that left shoulder pressing down on the mat. You can always place a block underneath the knees or in between the knees if that feels good. And try to breathe really up and down the full length of your spine. Take one more breath in this reclined twist. And then slowly, taking your time, draw those knees back to center. Hug them in, squeeze them into the chest for one breath. Loosen that grip. And we'll move into the twist on the left. This time, shifting the hips over to the right and dropping those knees over to the left. Reach the right arm out into a T shape or cactus. Try to keep the right shoulder pressing into the mat. And breathe up and down the spine. Breathing deeply. Take one more breath in the twist. And really slowly, no rush, start to draw those knees back to center. Maybe start to make some circles with those knees in one direction and then the other direction. And pause back at center, and we'll come into one last pose before we move into our Shavasana. And that's going to be a happy baby pose, which we'll just do for a minute or so. So you can start to draw those feet up towards the sky. Let those knees drop down beside you. Grab hold of the outsides of the feet. Option to rock a little bit here. That feels good. Then finding stillness whenever you're ready. Really big hip opener here. Letting gravity take hold. And letting any remaining tension, any remaining stress, just let it go. Take one more breath in your happy baby. Really gently let that go. Draw the knees back in. Again, maybe you want to make some circles with the knees. And from here, taking any final poses or movement your body is needing before we come into Shavasana. So whenever you're ready, stretch the legs out long. Let the arms drape over to the sides. Just surrender into the earth here, letting the body melt for your final resting pose, Shavasana. And if you have time, I encourage you to stay in the Shavasana as long as you like. Or if you're about to go to sleep, just crawl into bed. If you're ready to close this practice, we'll close with one final breath. You can exhale all the air out now. Take an inhale through the nose and a big sigh out the mouth. I hope you're feeling more relaxed and calm. I hope you have a great night's sleep tonight or a more restful rest of your day. And thank you so much for practicing with me. If you'd like to see more Yin Yoga videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. Let me know how this went in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.